Do can you hear it? Yeah. Testing Heroes of Loot 2 on the Switch. Yay. But the first bug I ran into was the music is repeating itself over and over after about 1 or 2 seconds. I didn't notice until I was further in the level, but then I started to notice that I was hearing the same sound every time. And that's just one of the bugs we're trying to fix as we are porting games to the Switch. Luckily for me, I just have to find these bugs, make a note of it, and then don't worry about it because Friedel will be hopefully fixing it, and then I'll get a new version and it's fixed. But this is the type of bugs we're looking for. On the upside, I got Heroes of Loot 2 on my Switch, which is pretty good. Anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about today. It's a residual day. You should be able to play it on Steam now, whole week. Few more days left, so check this link in the description because you can still get it. And I have a bunch of new stuff I've been adding since, so let's talk about that after the intro. Hey, I'm Pascal from Orange Pixel, and this is not my most productive week ever. Every time I tried to do stuff and work on the game, I got distracted by other things or called away and had to do other stuff, and not my most productive week at all. I still managed to do a few things, but a good example is just yesterday I was planning my day and I decided to create a bunch of creatures to add to the game level and the game world, and I managed to add one. But it's a cool one, or maybe it's actually just lives in a cool place and that's why it's probably cool. Anyway, it's a bat, and these bats will be living random places in the caves, and then once you get near them or fire hits them or something or an earthquake or whatever, they'll wake up and the first thing they'll do is see if they can attack you, and if you scare them away with some stuff, they'll fly away and vanish. But the first thing I did was draw the bat, just because I knew I had to have something on the screen. I drew it in a upside down version because it starts hanging at the ceiling or in a cave somewhere on something. And then I came into a little problem. How does a bat actually turn around when he flies away? Not something you usually think about, and I had no idea, and I didn't want to Google it, or I don't want to watch hours of Bat movies, or unless it's Batman, but then not if George Clooney is in it, because then it's a... Anyway, I came to the conclusion that I'm gonna use code to just rotate that bat as it's animating or as it's waking up, and then that takes care of all the heavy lifting, and I don't have to animate it or find out how to animate it, and just have it spread its wings open, and then it will be rotated and then flies like a normal bat with the good side up and the bad side down. Something like that. So we now have bats flying around in the cave, and when you get near them, they'll attack you, they'll fly away a little bit, and it's pretty cool. This week I also added researching to the game, and researching is just a little tiny gameplay trick to pace the player's speed and to also educate the player a little bit. What it does is, in previous version, if you ran into an item, you could pick it up and it would be in your inventory, and then you could go to your inventory, check it out, use it, abuse it, whatever you want. But it missed a lot of context and information. What happens now is that if you try to pick up something you haven't picked up before, it will show a little research time thingy going around. This does a couple of things. It slows down the player, which means I can sort of control the pace that the player is evolving in the game and learning about things in the game. Second, it also shows you information of that item for the first time. So that little research moment hopefully helps the player to understand what's happening and what you're picking up and what's there and what kind of items are there. And it also paces the rhythm of the player a little bit. You can't rush through the game, just pick up everything. You have to learn, and you have to give yourself and allow yourself time to learn these things. And that hopefully signals to the player, this isn't a game to run through and rush through. This is a game that you just play for a longer period and just relax, enjoy your time here, educate yourself, learn about things. Nothing's gonna harm you at all. As a bonus, it should also allow streamers who play the game on a stream to communicate it to their audience and talk over these kind of moments. And I think that works for streamers as well. Not really sure, I'm not a game streamer, but I think that's a positive thing. Now let's talk about the crashed ship. It was there and it showed where you came from. You came with a crashed ship on the planet, but it didn't do much. So a very huge change in gameplay now, and very tiny code-wise. You can now enter that crashed spaceship. Actually, you start the game in the spaceship and you have to exit it to discover the rest of the planet. It also gives the first spot for the player to get some sleep, and that increases your energy levels again. And it should also be a safe spot for the player. So it has some functionality, but I haven't really decided the full scope of the functionality just yet, because obviously when I added this and showed it on Twitter and on the Discord, everybody started talking about a lot of ideas that I could add. Maybe I could store items there, that you have some extra space or room that you can store items there, not have to keep it in your inventory. Or maybe there was a full room that you can just start decorating it, like all those other type of games that decorate indoor house thingies. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to think about on that subject, but for now it's a safe spot for the player. You can sleep there, and maybe I'll come up with even more ideas for that spaceship and I can always expand on it. For now, I didn't want to put too much time in the code area, because making that ship bigger and a completely different area from the planet would require a lot of rewrite and a lot of code. And I have no clear idea of why I would actually want to do that. So for now, it's a cool little feature, and that's it. And besides those slightly bigger features, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I've been distracted all week and my focus and concentration was very low. So that's about all the stuff I've been adding. I have been fixing a bunch of things with fire, because there were strange things going on. You had a campfire and then you had a burning torch. The campfire wasn't burning and the torch couldn't light the campfire. And the campfire, if it was lit and you had a torch that wasn't burning at all, sometimes it wouldn't light up and you couldn't always get rid of the cobwebs. A lot of stuff went wrong with fire, and I've been playing with fire all week, pretty much. But anyway, that's all I have been doing this week. I'm gonna play Heroes of Loot some more on the dev kit and write down a bunch of bugs so somebody else can fix it, and hopefully next week will be more productive. I also hope you tried out the game on Steam Game Festival, and there's a demo of Residual right now. Go check it out. I've been adding a bunch more and all these things. Some of these things are in the demo and other things aren't just yet. But let me know what you think about the game, and see you next week. Bye.